All right, I'm Isaac.
I'm Cole.
I'm O'Brien.
And this is the Criterion Coffee Club. We're three coffee addicts that just enjoy watching and making movies. We may not be regarded as leading experts, but we use our shared knowledge and experiences to help us dissect the world of cinema. So grab your favorite cup of coffee and sit back and relax. All right, so what are y'all drinking? I realized we didn't bring that up last time.
Yeah, I know. We missed it. The
brand's already falling apart.
That was quick. You tell me about what I'm drinking since you made it for me.
Yeah, I brought over for Cole, because Cole and I are together, dear listeners. But in person. We're together in person.
Not romantically.
I am alone together.
But yeah, it's like some coffee that was roasted by some people my mother found at the farmer's market here in Beaumont. These beans are Haitian. The bag doesn't tell me too much other than they're Haitian beans and the proceeds go to like charity in Haiti. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Normally bags will tell you like when it was roasted, what kind of process it went through.
But these are home roasts. These are roasted at here locally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll also tell you, like, even some of the local roasters, they'll tell you the process that the beans went through, like the extraction.
Yeah.
Because that will determine how the like coffee grounds like sit in the water. Mm-hmm. It's it's a whole thing. But also it'll tell you like how it will probably taste. That way you don't buy bagged beans and then you're like, I hate this shit.
Well, it's delicious and
it is good.
It's a very unique tasting cup of coffee. Like it has a distinctive flavor, which is something I really appreciate.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think you guys are more. I've got the bitter taste buds than I, because it takes a stronger flavor for me to kind of know the coffee. The subtol doesn't work as well as it used to, and and so I'm drinking the Bones coffee, which has got the best flavor. You don't even need to add a lot of sugar or anything, which is one thing I like about the Bones coffee. So yeah, that's me. I'm drinking their Irish cream, and yeah.
Awesome.
How about you, Isaac?
I'm drinking the same thing Cole is.
Same thing. Okay, gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, it's episode 5. Let me finish off this bag of beans. And then I found out I actually had more in the bag than I thought, but it's whatever. Still thought it was
good problem to have.
Yeah, so still thought it was a good change of pace, I guess.
Yeah.
Or just be like, oh, it's episode 5. Let me drink
This
something
definitely
over.
feels more special than my daily espresso shots. So,
Well, tell you what, Cole, I got a couple more bags on the way.
yeah.
And they should be good to drink by next episode.
Heck yeah, dude. Bring
One
over
from some roaster in Kansas.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
just
others,
if you just bring the handle next time for the grinder.
Yeah. So Cole
I
doesn't
thought
have
about
like
finding a cat out there to get the best beans. We have cats wandering around there. A little known fact here.
Yeah.
It's kind of segueing. Since we're talking coffee, it's segueing into little known fact. The best coffee, most expensive coffee in the world, actually is processed through kind of a jungle cat called a civet. And apparently, the process involves the civets, these jungle cats, consume ripe coffee cherries, which I guess are kind of like beans. And the coffee beans undergo fermentation in the civet's digestive tract, where the enzymes break down the proteins, and you get the flavor and the aroma kind of are set up in the civet's digestive tract. And you're going, okay, fun fact, that's interesting. How does that get to you? Well, there are people that the civets excrete the undigested beans, which also, according to last week's film, you can tell the future from from some of those. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, the civets excrete the undigested beans. Then they are collected, cleaned, and processed for roasting and brewing. It always makes you wonder, how did somebody even try to do that in the first place? Like,
Yeah, that's
those
the real
beans.
question.
Yeah, the first person is like, no, these
The
beans
Cole-
are fine.
And this connects to a movie that Cole
Right.
has seen.
Yeah.
So pick it up from here, Cole.
Yeah, so if anyone's seen The Bucket List with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, in the movie, both the characters have like terminal illnesses and they're determined to live life to the fullest with what time they have left. And Jack Nicholson spends all this money on this like really expensive all copper like coffee brewing machine, and then also buys these incredibly expensive beans. And he's sitting there talking about how he never knows what's going to be his last cup of Joe, so he's spending the big bucks. And then Morgan Freeman's character is like reading the bag of the really expensive beans, and is like, these come from like jungle cat excretions, right? So
That's so funny.
it was definitely the joke definitely lands. It's a good bit.
Well, tell you what, Cole, we can go 50-50 on this Volcanica coffee beans
Yeah.
of the cat poop. It's on sale for $359.
Hey, it's one of those things. I'm not going to do that, but I actually kind of understand why it's so expensive.
Yeah,
Just because, like,
the process you have to go through.
just because,
It's
like,
just
you're
a
washing
little
beans
terrible.
out of cat poop
Yeah.
individually.
Well,
at
you
a
also
time.
got to get the cat
To eat the beans.
beans.
And then you have to follow the cat around and collect its poop.
Yeah, because like it's
And then
not
you
like
have to wash eat beans
Yeah,
individually to the point where you feel comfortable with people consuming it.
yeah. It's just like
So I'm sure it's a process.
I'm sure the coffee farmers
Or pay fairly.
well. Actually, you can find that out because if there's like an alliance thing
Okay.
with the coffee roasters, there's like several different ones, but one of them is specifically for like how workers are treated with the actual extraction, like farming
Right.
of the beans and extracting the beans.
Very good to know.
That's also very good to know if you're getting into like specialized coffee.
yeah. That's a
If
good
it's like-
consumer.
If it's like the local guy that I send you every now and then,
Yeah.
like obviously he's not gonna have license like these certification like
Right.
badges because it is just
'Cause he's
in his garage.
He's selling on the street level.
Yeah, he's selling on the street level. But like those that have like at the very least websites, they'll probably have like if you don't see that,
That's a
the
concern.
yeah, that's like Starbucks level. Like Starbucks got under fire like in the early 2000s, and believe it or not, this actually is part of the reason why a specific brewer is popular right now, or just nowadays, I guess is more like it. But they got under fire because the people that they get their coffee from like are known to treat their workers horribly.
Yeah.
So basically, they're like Starbucks on like a
Right.
very fundamental level.
So you're saying Starbucks isn't paying people a livable wage?
Yeah, so like Starbucks kind of screwed on all levels. Yeah, like we're not the CEO. It's just not... But those are good signs. Like when you're like, oh, is this a specialized coffee place? Oh, here's a Rainforest Alliance badge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah, it is. To a point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I know Bones has the Rainforest Alliance one, which is like
Oh,
making
that
sure
is
that
awesome.
There's
the coffee farmers aren't destroying.
Right. There's not like a tremendous amount of deforestation that's happening through this process.
Yeah, they're at least giving
Right.
something back into the rainforest,
Yeah.
aside from just tearing it down and replacing it with a bunch of
terracing it.
coffee,
Yeah.
coffee fruits.
Okay. Heck yeah.
Well, we got our coffee fact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My movie
Yes.
fact is is topical.
Oh.
Because it has to do with Superman.
Oh.
Which just came out, and if you haven't seen it yet, go have some fun. Go out to the movies.
Cole and
it's a good
I
time in the cinema.
were geeking out to it while I was
Yeah,
making the
Isaac
coffee.
already knows this because I not only did he already know it, but I also
Yeah.
said it to him earlier. But for those who don't know, crypto And the current Superman movie is not only as a character based off of James Gunn, the director's dog, but is quite literally a 3D scan of his dog colored white to be Crypto. So Crypto is really, really based off of James Gunn's dog. Not even just from the way he acts, but also his physical appearance is just a white version of James Gunn's dog.
I love seeing the interviews he has where he talks about it too. Because he was like, yeah, I based Crypto off my dog Ozu because he's just a terrible dog. But I remember when he made the announcement, I was telling Cole, I remember when he made the announcement, he was talking, it was like the picture of Superman holding Crypto that's like really adorable. And he was like, we're pleased to announce Crypto's going to be in the new movie. And then he talked about on his personal Twitter, like, it's a love letter to my dog. I love him very much. And then, of course, the movie comes out, and I found out that his dog's terrible. So it really was great. That's a really funny. He's like, it's a love letter to my dog.
Who's so bad. I put him in a movie.
I was writing the script, and he was begging for attention, and I was like, you know, Crypto could really work in this movie.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Is that Has there ever been a Crypto Superman dog before?
Not in live action.
Yeah. He had his own TV show,
Oh,
though.
fascinating. Okay,
Back in
right.
when back in the day, there used to be a Crypto the Wonder Dog TV show.
Yeah, you could
Oh my
Ace the
God,
Bat
that's right.
Hounds.
Yeah, with Ace the Bat Hound.
He showed up every now and then.
Yeah, and it was popular as a kid, and then Crypto appears in the comics.
Yeah, because
It's been in the comics forever.
Ace and Crypto are the two super pets that like consistently appear. There are some other ones like the Shazam cat,
Right.
but they're kind of like forgotten about for the most part.
Isn't there something about the Shazam cat turning into a tiger? I'm not gonna.
I am so grateful for your knowledge of the comics. I'm slowly catching up, and so start kind of comic wise, more starting with good grief, like the Regina King series.
Watchmen.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's awesome. The book's great. And I'm just drawing a blank. But of course, Crypto. I do remember that from, early TV, right? It was,
I don't know if he originated for TV or if he was
comic books. For sure.
70s had a lot of cocaine. He was probably from the
Do you know about Crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's older.
yeah.
I definitely was one of those things where it's like older, like more, we'll say campy comic books. Crypto
Yeah.
was from,
Right.
and then he disappeared for a little while, and then they were like, I guess at some point, someone was like, we could probably make money off a cartoon
Yeah.
with the super pets.
Sometimes it's hard to keep track of like who is original for like that piece of media or it's
Right.
like a comic character. Like who would expect the Trapster to be an original creation or Baron von Leaper, right? But then you got like Harley Quinn. You think she's been in comics forever, but no, she was made for a cartoon show.
Crypto's first appearance was in Adventure Comics 210, and that is in March of 1955.
Oh, that was before the cocaine hit.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Who dates even me?
Yeah, Crypto's super dog's
Here's
been around
another
for a
fun
while.
fact. This is not a movie or a coffee fact, but I think it's on topic. So, like Doctor Strange and all the like different dimensions, like the nightmare dimension, the dark dimension.
Yeah.
Well, to get inspiration on how those are drawn, like Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby took LSD
Yeah.
and then walked down the streets of New York to get inspiration for those comics.
That's one way to do it.
And now they're a staple on Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Well, I've been kind of like beach balling back and forth on what kind of question to ask you, but I think I'll ask this. What TV show do you guys think deserves its own restoration to the extent of Criterion?
Oh, that's a good
It could be a couple ones. I'm fine with any. For me, because I already know, like, off the top of my head, Twilight Zone, like original Twilight Zone.
Oh,
Like, if I
yeah.
could get a
Yeah.
Criterion box set
Yeah.
of the original Twilight Zone, I'd
Yeah.
die happy.
Oh. Oh, and now that you get that in your head, you're thinking, why can't this be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be.
It's just too
Man.
hard because, like,
Yeah.
there's so many
yeah.
episodes, and, like,
So
it's
many
already hard
episodes.
enough just keeping up with the movies.
Yeah.
I feel like there really does need to be
A definitive.
one boutique label that just dedicates to doing at least TV.
Yeah.
You know, I'll stay in your vein. As contemporary show to the Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits. Showtime did The Outer Limits later in the 90s, but the original 2-year run was fantastic, 1963-64, and just incredible. Gothic horror with science fiction, and it would be perfect for that kind of a restoration. Just, some great actors, Robert Duvall,
Okay, I have a few that I just want to spitball.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a few. So.
Okay. Number one for me would probably be The West Wing. Aaron Sorkin. It's like the most idealized version of like the American presidency.
Oh yeah.
And so, first of all, I think something that like I think people could kind of cling to right now. And I just think it's really interesting. You know, a lot of walking and talking. I just love The West Wing. I think it's great. And I think anyone can kind of get behind it if you give it a shot. So it's a very good series. And, you know, you get to explore, like, I don't know, the world of, like, the cabinet members and, like, the everyday in the White House. And it's really interesting. I also, like, I'm a Trekkie. Like, I love Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek.
And, like, the original series getting a full restoration would be amazing.
Oh,
And The Next Generations is like one of my all-time favorite TV shows. And if there was a Criterion release of that, I don't care how much money it is. We'd find a way.
Make it so, Cole. That's engage. I
Yeah,
love it.
right. Engage. Yeah, make it so.
Yeah.
Those would be awesome. Oh God.
I'm gonna also pitch Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Because first of all, that show is amazing.
Yeah.
But also, that show really helped like cartoons in general.
Oh, its impact on the
like on the animation
sure.
industry, especially for television animation,
Yeah.
because nothing was animated like
Yeah.
that. And then also they had a technique where they actually drew everything on black pieces of paper instead of white. That's why everything looks dark and muted. And then that was a technique that other TV shows other cartoons, even adult ones like the Spawn show, which was awesome, pick up. But then also, like, Batman's an iconic character and his impact on pop culture as a whole. But that show is part of the reason why we think of certain things with Batman. Like, Harley Quinn came from that show.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze's origin story is so good. You're like, how did they not think of that sooner and just made him some dude in a refrigerator costume beforehand? Like, so many C-listers became A-listers. And also, like, Mark Hamill does a phenomenal job as the Joker.
Yeah.
And R.I.P. Kevin Conroy.
The GOAT.
Yeah. Makes me tear up.
Yeah.
Especially when I watch I did the Grey Ghost episode with Adam West in it as his hero now. Or Batman the Brave and the Bold did something similar where they had Kevin Conroy, the voice of I think Phantom Stranger, and Mark Hamill was the Spectre, and they were watching Batman like go back in time and actually meet his dad.
Yeah.
Or, he already knew his dad. Yeah. But go back and see his dad. And he was played by another Batman actor, I'm pretty sure. But I think there's so many TV shows out there that... Obviously, I feel like one of the most obvious ones is probably Twin Peaks. Simply because Twin Peaks... The movie is in the Criterion Collection, along with several other David Lynch's.
Go ahead and get the TV show in there.
Yeah, it's like at that point.
And then do a box set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Twin Peaks, they've actually, good grief, they released a kind of Criterion like Twin Peaks release of the series with so many discs. It's loving all sorts of extras and stuff. I bet Shane has it. But,
Probably. Real quick, while we're talking about it, I also think some of the 80s miniseries, like V, like the original V would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Remastered.
Good grief.
Yeah. And then also, as a kid, I used to watch Rawhide all the time.
Wow.
And I would love, because I like the Blues Brothers movie. That's how I got introduced to Rawhide. But though that series was pretty influential on the course of Western films.
Absolutely.
And not only because Clint Eastwood is, an unknown star at that point in coming up in that series, but also the stylization was way closer to what spaghetti westerns would end up coming into.
That's fascinating.
So it's a really cool. Rawhide was a pretty cool TV show. I mean, it's very much like it's a TV western, so there's definitely some it's a little hokey at times, but I think compared to other TV westerns at the time, it definitely had its moments where it felt like a little more I don't know.
No, I know.
A little more
I haven't
raw.
seen
Yeah,
right.
Like those. Criterion is kind of heralding some of those westerns. There's a Winchester 77 or Winchester 73. My bad if I. And then and the director of some of those, there's like a special set on those kind of unique westerns. I think you're right, a connection to Rawhide there. And of course, without Rawhide, we maybe don't get Clint Eastwood, which would, oh my God, that's whoa, a world without Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
no, there definitely are some 80s shows that come to mind that I'm surprised haven't gotten some form of release, like Knight Rider,
right? Yeah,
or Dallas.
Oh, I mean, Dallas is beloved.
I mean, the whole Who Killed JR thing was a huge deal, and up to that point, TV hadn't really done anything to that extent. And speaking of which, you were talking about the walk and talks.
Yeah.
ER.
Yeah.
George Clooney really pushed that, made that a thing. And then it became too gimmicky for them, for their own good.
Yeah, and who's the writer? ER.
I don't know, but I know
that's
Steadicam operator.
It's Michael Crichton. Do you know who?
Do
you know what else Michael Crichton wrote?
The Jurassic Park books and Jaws.
Yeah, Jurassic Park.
The Andromeda Strain.
The Andromeda Strain, which is one of my all-time favorite novels. I love the Andromeda Strain.
I have the
Congo
great movie too.
Oh my God.
Eaters of the Dead. I'm sorry,
Congo, dude.
Big Michael Crichton guy.
So first of all, I have the Andromeda Strain Arrow video on my shelf, but Jeremy Hawa despises Congo.
It's a movie?
With his...
It was a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie. Okay.
That tracks. The movie's terrible.
But he despises that movie with every fiber of his being. It is Jeremy. You know how much he hates Schenectady and New York or whatever.
Yeah.
Congo is right up there with it.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So one time I was at Second and Charles and I saw it for $3 or $4.
You had to do it to him.
And it was December and I was like,
had to do it to
I
him.
got to give it to him for a Christmas gift. I remember handing it to him Merry Christmas. He was like, "Oh, you got me a movie?"
Yeah. Oh no.
And he was like, "Motherfucker." You know how much I hate this movie? I was like, "Yeah, that's why I got it for you." He's like, he just started shaking his head.
That's so funny.
Last time I was there at Second and Charles, I did see a copy of Congo, so that there is a chance it was his.
Yeah. That's really funny.
I got to throw in, now that we've kind of expanded, and Cole, when you started going with more recent series too, like West Wing, I got to admit, Mr. Robot. Oh, I'd love to see a treatment like that.
There are definitely
and of course, I'm a broken record on The Leftovers. And it has not been treated well. It's just got, some of these things are just so minimal. You'll look up, I bet Mr. Robot is minimal too. You look up, it may not be. There's some cool stuff that goes with Mr. Robot, including some of the stuff he wrote in the as part of the series. He's working on a book. But a lot of these things are really minimal right now on DVD. And a treatment, some sort of treatment, Criterion treatment would be awesome
Yeah.
for these things.
Yeah.
Just
There are
yeah, or
definitely
an
a lot
arrow
of
treatment. Yeah,
contemporary shows.
I mean, prestige TV, dude.
Yeah, because like there's been so many like mini series in the last like 20 years that have like really changed how TV is.
Yeah.
Because TV didn't
Yeah.
really get as serious as it is now.
Yeah.
Mostly because 90s was just overly edgy on everything.
Right.
But I feel like they've really dialed it in more recently than...
Yeah, well, and there's also like classic series like The Sopranos or The Wire, like classic HBO
Right.
series that like,
Yeah.
you know,
those are talking like you were talking about, Isaac. Both you guys with foundational TV changing series,
right.
and
Those all deserve like I legitimately something, especially something like The Wire, I think deserves just as much like even compared to like a lot of the films we talk about, deserves the same amount of like respect and treatment for what it
Yeah.
did for the industry, because it really did help push on like, hey, there's TV that's that can be just as cinematic as movies and have characters that you know, I don't know, you can feel the same way about, I guess. And you know, cover such heavy hitting topics and stuff. So I don't know, like a series like that definitely deserves the full Criterion treatment. You want all the interviews, especially like a series like The Wire. You could have like so many like interviews about just like the characters and stuff. I'm sure there is like a good Wire box set out there, but something getting the full.
You want another fun fact about The Wire?
Yeah.
You're not ready for this one. So, do you know D'Angelo Barksdale?
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Wire, so
Yeah.
I had to look it up.
Okay.
That guy,
Yeah.
I'm like best friends with his son. I was playing Smite with him literally last night.
Really?
Last night, yeah.
Whoa.
He was in the Walking Dead. He's the
Wait.
yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, he was
That's
in the Walking.
insane,
He was
dude.
in the Walking Dead as well.
you gotta send him a link.
And it
Yeah.
was like he's the guy where like his leg gets infected and a bunch of cannibals cut it off and then they start eating it.
Yeah.
And then he starts chuckling like ha ha ha. Tainted meats. I also haven't seen The Walking Dead. I'm not gonna lie on that one. But I've seen the scene because he was telling me, his son was telling me about it.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh, cool. He was also the quarterback in The Waterboy.
Which you have seen.
Yeah, I've seen The
quarterback
Waterboy.
Gotcha.
When he told us his
Waterboy.
parents were actors, because he like kind of made a comment, and then we were like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, oh, usually I don't get that reaction. And we're like, I mean, they're people too, but we expected them to have some like kids. We were like, oh, what has he been in? He was like, The Wire. It was just crickets. Walking Dead, crickets. There was like 4 of us in there, by the way. This
Hey,
call.
dude, you gotta watch The Wire. It's
and
awesome.
then, and then he was like, he was the
Yeah.
quarterback in The Waterboy, and all of us went, oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's so funny.
Is that an Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we get to Adam Sandler. I'd be
That's
right
Bro
with you.
Cole.
I'm like, oh no, not that's the one. Yeah, all those other good media. Yeah, that you're right. It need to be watched. There's just so much good stuff out there.
I've been watching it, but The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Excellent one
Yeah.
so far.
Oh yeah, that'd be-
Game of
yeah.
Thrones, of
And-
course.
and-
Game of Thrones.
and
But you
that's
know
an
what
interesting
does
point.
have
The
a boutique label? Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
which
I know we need to transition, but the last thing I'll say is you mentioned The Handmaid's Tale. So much of this stuff now may not even get a DVD release, or if it gets a release,
yeah.
it's with no features. And the streaming people, the streaming heads,
Yeah.
just don't seem to care, and they're missing so much, which also speaks to special features. And today's movie, Inside Llewyn Davis.
Wait. I'm sorry. I
Netflix,
don't want to be that. I have one thing I have to sit to piggyback off of you, O'Brien, with that. One thing that's driving me wild is you're seeing these streaming services not even willing to sell the rights to boutique labels
Apple.
to make physical releases when they have absolutely no plans of their own to support a physical release. Drives me. I don't understand how that even makes sense from a business standpoint.
It's really just Apple too.
Yeah.
Because like Netflix has made their own disc for years. Like I remember, like I have the Daredevil season 1 and 2.
Yeah, and sometimes they look a lot like Criterion releases with the cover.
Oh yeah, I did see that, but I'm still positive that one I saw was like some kind of bootleg but that's
It's so bizarre looking.
Thing. But like I have season 1 and 2 of Daredevil, but I don't have season 3.
Yeah.
Why? Because they didn't make it.
Yeah.
Like the whole back half of like
Wow.
the Marvel Netflix shows like didn't get physical releases, but Iron Fist season 2 did.
Awesome. Sweet.
Yeah,
we're hurting for that one.
Great for both those seasons. But and then Netflix also gives pretty frequently to Criterion.
Yeah. They will.
I think it's more of like, hey guys, we're the Criterion collection. Look how good our movies are, kind of thing.
I still can't believe that Killers of the Flower Moon is going to get nothing.
Killers of Flower Moon's never coming out in physical.
Look, whether you love or hate that movie or you think it's boring or whatever, I do think from a technical filmmaking standpoint, that movie is phenomenal. And the fact that I'm not going to be able to like get a Criterion copy where we get to hear like Martin talk about like what it was to like direct hundreds of people in those those big like town square shots and stuff. I mean, like it's like I don't know, dude. It is like I think that film is just something I want to know more about the filmmaking of it, and I want to have that physical release.
And the Native American history would accompany that. The Osage history. You know, they kept that town for like 6 months or maybe even a year. They kept it as it was in the movie, and people could go take tours of the town.
Yeah.
I mean, and to think. So is Criterion not going to be able to get a hold of that?
No.
Apple Criterion offered to buy the rights for the physical release, and Apple turned them down. And Apple has no plans on making a physical release.
Yeah, Apple said themselves that they don't want to make.
They want it strictly for streaming on Apple TV.
The only reason that I can understand why Severance has a physical reason, I'm not joking about this, but in season 2, Christopher Walken is in it, right?
Yeah,
and he plays a lover to one of the other characters. I needed to catch up on Severance. But in order for him to have seen Severance, and 2, for him to have seen his episode, he would have needed to watch it, right? Well, Christopher Walken is old school. He doesn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
He doesn't have internet.
Yeah.
He does have a Blu-ray player or a DVD player.
Yeah.
So they actually had to make disc to send it to him for him to be able to watch it, because that was at his request. And it's not like some random actor. It's Christopher Walken saying, you gotta send me the list, you gotta send me the disc in order for me to watch it. Like it's not just like, maybe if it was like the main character played by Adam Scott, they probably wouldn't have done it. But
Christopher Walken's got some pull.
Yeah, Christopher Walken has a lot of pull.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the world, we will not be able to comfort ourselves with physical media. There's a Netflix movie about a world-ending event from like 3-4 years ago, just a Netflix film. Good director, and all this little girl wants to do. This family's escaping from the end of the world event, and they found this incredibly wealthy person's underground house, and all she wants to do is watch Friends. And the little girl, she's like 8, and she finds either tapes or a DVD of Friends, and that kind of is the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But at the end of the world, I mean, with streaming, we will have nothing. But with a generator you can buy to keep, when you get hurricanes, you can watch movies with that generator.
Oh well, we're laughing about that, but I remember when Harvey hit, and so many people were in desperate need, and I remember there was some dude in Louisiana, or maybe it was around here. I don't know. It's basically Louisiana either way. but the like helicopters are flying over, seeing who all need to be rescued or whatever, and this one dude was sitting on his roof, and he had a generator, a TV, a cooler, and like one of those beach chairs, and like all of Harvey just stood up there like, nah, I'm chill.
Yeah.
Like he would like wave at the copters when they. It was crazy.
Dude's hanging out, man.
He was just hanging out.
And
all
then-
this
and then-
gushing water and debris is going by him. He was like, "No, I'm up here with my TV. I got my six pack. I'm
pretty good.
Shirtless, and I got a generator. I'm good." But anyway, Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, let's actually get into the movie.
I had no good segue for that, but
What a film.
Yeah.
spine number 794. Usually I'm on it with the spine numbers in these last two episodes. I can't remember them. So, I've seen this movie several times, but this is the first time both of y'all finished this.
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
So I'm
That's
curious
right.
what y'all think.
Halfway through it and made it through. And yeah, one tiny thing to say is that it's funny. Last week I thought, that's in black and white, and no, it's not. And but I did see a review that it's so dark, it leaves people with the impression that it's in black and white.
Yeah.
The colors are so muted. But what a film. I mean, it's not a likable film in some respects. It's not like
Yeah.
but it is a profound film, and on so many levels. You just keep going, and some of those Criterion extras kind of help you get there too. But anyway, what a film. That's whew.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch this movie when I was younger. Because
When you were going through like a Coen Brothers phase.
I know, just like when I was like, I feel like when I was younger, I felt like there's that word for like having like a misplaced nostalgia, like a nostalgia for a time you never actually lived in.
Yeah.
And I definitely had that, I feel like, for the 60s growing up, because I was such a heavy Beatles kid, and I was so obsessed with... I was both obsessed with, like, the psychedelic rock scene of the 60s, and also, like, the Norwich Village, like, folk scene. And Greenwich Village, is what I meant. Not Norwich.
This is the third episode in a row you had a major
Look,
mess up.
you just have to catch it. That's it.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, you just have to catch it. That's all I ask for you, for y'all as co-hosts. Is whenever I invariably switch a name up, just catch it. No, and like I don't know. I just I think I would have been like, I was a pretty self-destructive in my youth,
Oh
and
my
this
God.
I would have been more so.
The whole scarf, trench coat, you would have been dressed like that.
Yeah,
I can see it in my head. I can see Little McKinstry.
You say that. I remember one time I bought a wool pea coat when I was a freshman because it was Black Friday and it was like on sale for like $50. I spent my own money and I bought it and I wore it one time to school, and that was vicious, dude. That was tough. It was tough. I thought it was so cool. I had like a scarf and a pea coat on over like my chapel uniform, and because I wanted to be like a folk artist. I guess, I don't know.
I'm just like photoshopping your face over Oscar Isaac's.
Yeah, I thought Dawes and Mumford and Sons were so
get
cool,
it.
and then
Yeah.
like also like loved Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell.
Yeah, so it's funny you bring
Well,
up
yeah.
Mumford and Sons because
Great
Yeah,
music.
but
I
he's-
mentioned this to O'Brien, but
He's the
Mumford
composer.
himself
Yeah.
helped make the music
Yeah.
for Inside Llewyn Davis.
He's actually, first of all, he's done a few other like films and
Yeah.
TV shows. He's an awesome composer for.
Yeah. But like the funny thing is when he makes music, he needs the Sons to be good.
Yeah.
I've seen Mumford without the Sons in concert.
Not
It was-
as
it was
enjoyable.
Not as enjoyable. It was like you're missing like 5 instruments for the song.
Yeah. But hey, while we're talking about the music in this film is tremendous.
It's amazing. Between Mumford and Justin Timberlake, there was nothing they couldn't do.
Yeah. That's very true. I don't know how much we explored Justin Timberlake's range. Oh, you have coffee like on
Yeah,
it.
you saw that bounce out?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
The music is really awesome, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. There's some real soul in all the folk music in it, and even not just Llewyn Davis, but like also the other characters. I think, and some of it paints like an image of what he has. Because, like, definitely the vibe, this is before the Greenwich Village scene, like...
This is the beginning of it.
Right, like, this is almost, he's too early for what
He's
he
ahead of his
is.
time.
Yeah, because, like, we still have, like the 4 dudes in the sweaters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
the one with the washboard.
yeah, the grandma with a washboard, and, you know... Or, like, even, like, the one song that he actually gets paid to play is very much like a...
Or the one where he was with Justin Timberlake and Adam Driver.
Yeah. I'm like, that is still very much like an old kind of, like, hunky-dory folk, pop hit.
Yeah, they were trying to make
Trying to
it...
be
The
a
point of that
right
scene
at
was they were trying to make
1960.
it poppy.
Yeah.
To make money off of it.
Yeah.
That was
Please,
what
Mr.
the hip
Kennedy.
kids were into.
Right. And it was...
That's such
it had, like, a...
You know, Cole, while you got that, hold that thought. I was just going to one thing you said. So many people I've come across, same thing. They'd seen it 10 years ago, and they're so glad they're rewatching it because this film it kind of speaks to who you are when you see the film.
Yeah.
And it really affects you in a different way as you age. And I just thought that was fascinating that you said that. That's exactly right.
Basically, this movie is like the character himself. It's just a little too early for what people were wanting to watch.
Yeah.
Good points.
Yeah, because like out of like when I first started like looking into the Coen brothers, obviously Big Lebowski comes up.
Right.
And Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Right.
I inevitably saw No Country for Old Men, which I'm not gonna lie, out of all the Coen brothers I've seen, that's actually my least favorite. Which might be a little bit of a hot take, but
yeah, people will come for you, but you're right.
yeah, but like Oh Brother and Big Lebowski are like some of my
Those are
favorite
top
comedy,
tiers.
and Llewyn Davis
yeah.
is like one of my all-time favorites.
Now, this was a CBS
And it's like the Coen
film?
brothers through those films giving us an
CBS.
education in music.
Oh, CBS. I thought you said CBS. So I thought like the pharmacy, because you know Walmart makes movies. Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, Oh Brother is kind of same thing. They're grabbing us by the throat and saying this is good music.
yeah,
It's been neglected in some respects.
it's the classic Coen brothers of here's folk music. And I actually happened to watch the 43 making of documentary called Inside Llewyn Davis. And in it, I don't remember which of the Coen brothers, I don't remember if it was Joel or Ethan, but one of them said they got this idea because one of them envisioned a folk artist being punched in the face. And for some reason, it was Dave Van Ronk.
Yeah.
And then they built the movie off of that.
That's
literally how they came up with the movie.
I really like that instead of like a biopic, they really just picked a character, and he's almost like a general idea of just what it meant to be like a struggling artist in this place and time. And it's really more, even though it's like, it's weird because it's such a character-driven film, but it also seems like it's really more about capturing the setting and like setting it in stone. It's just through the eyes of this character.
And he's hard to have empathy with at first. I mean, he's such a jerkwad in some respects, and he acts against his own interests so much. He won't get along, and yet the more you watch the film, the more you think no, he's kind of. And even he's kind of being true to himself. I mean, and you gain more empathy with him as the movie goes along, and then you also appreciate his circumstances. It's also, God, what it is to be homeless. Sometimes it just feels like an abstract concept.
Yeah.
But this is, and the way you watch it, he even judges people's couches. You can kind of tell, oh, this couch is better than the other couch. Ooh, this is a nice couch. It's like he has it from sleeping on couches for years, apparently. He kind of, and that kind of masks the fact he's homeless. And that is it. You realize it's what it is to be homeless. In other words, you can't, you think he does something so dumb, like he loses his pilot's license because he tells his sister kind of angrily, just throw it out, get rid of it. But if he had a place of his own, some little place, he would never have lost his pilot. So he never can get a leg up. He never can get some of the simple advantages that we all take for granted because of that homelessness that's rooted in economics. He's and it's there's even a story that Ruth had mentioned about these guys. It kind of ties. Remember when he's freezing with his feet and he steps in as soon as he gets to Chicago, he steps in the snow, and but apparently people, there's kind of a story that illustrates how tough it is to be homeless. Workers will say you just need one of the first things you do with like a manual labor job, get a good pair of boots. They cost $50, but they'll last forever. But someone who can't catch a break can't afford those boots, so they end up getting a cheap pair of boots, and this $50 now it's probably $200, but they get a cheap pair of boots, and they keep on having to buy the same cheap pair of boots. But if they just had that one little foundation, they could buy good boots, and it's like he never can catch a break. He's just continually sliding down the hill.
Yeah, we see that when he pays all he's like, okay, I'm gonna give up the folk music scene. I'm gonna go become a merchant marine again.
Right.
And he pays
pilot's license.
Yeah, and he pays his dues. And that is the entirety of his worldly money, like his possessions, essentially, besides his guitar, and only to find out that because he was short-sighted and didn't have, and also like didn't have, like you said, like a physical place to have his stuff. His card that he needed got thrown out, and then that was an additional $50 for him to get that, and so he wasted all of his money. And I want to talk about, like, there is a metaphor in this film that is about, like, the idea of, like, a traveler who goes off and always comes back home.
Yeah.
And I think we see it in both Llewyn and the cat, who is named Ulysses. So, which is also obviously another metaphor for that in itself, because they both kind of go on their own, odyssey. And
Coen Brothers Odyssey for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really, I think it's really interesting because he is stuck almost. I mean, the movie almost sets it up like this, but he's stuck in a loop. Like, it's something that he can't escape because he is so ingrained into being an artist in this scene that there is no, like, out, and, like, even when he tries to call himself out, he's so entrained into it, he can't get the leg up to get out of it. So, like, he's just in it. And it's just it is fundamentally who he is, for better or for worse. And a lot of his positives and negatives or person are fed by the fact that, like, no matter he like hitchhikes his way to Chicago and he finds his way back. He almost pulls off into Akron. Like, there's this brief moment where, like, is he about to just move off to Akron and try to start a family, or, like, see his kid, or, change his life that way, and he just keeps going back to the village. And
Cole, from that's where he bypasses the town in Ohio.
Yes,
he thinks about gotcha, but he makes his way
because
back to
that's
village.
where his child is with his
exactly.
One thing I absolutely loved about this movie is, like, because we see basically what it's like to be a week in Llewyn's life, right? But we find everything out about his entire life through this 1 week, because his interaction with his sister, the interaction with the abortion clinic
with
doctor,
Jim.
Jim and Janine. Like, you find everything you need to know about this character just through the story and through the, like, setting and interactions with these people. Whereas, like, other movies will just be like, here's a flashback to this woman that he truly loved, and then she kind of fell off the face of the earth. Here's a flashback to his partner.
Yeah, Mike is so essential to this movie, and we never see him.
No, but we hear him. We hear him in the record, played by none other than Mumford himself.
Yeah.
The only time he didn't need his sons. Yeah. He just needed Oscar Isaac. But they also talked about I'm bringing it back to like more of the filmmaking part. But they said when they were developing this movie, they told their producer, we're not doing it unless we can find an actor that can act and sing and play guitar live. And the producer was like, do you know how hard it is to find that? And they stumbled across Oscar Isaac, because at the time, he wasn't Oscar Isaac. And Oscar went to, like, New York, like, those street performers to, like, learn how to play guitar. He's like, he played a little bit or something, like, he held it up, and then he was like, I don't know too much about guitar. And the street performer was like, oh, I can tell. Just by the way you're holding the guitar. So, like, he learned from an actual street performer that was playing, like...
a busker.
On an acoustic guitar on the side of the road. Or, I guess, in the subway, since it's New York. I don't remember where it was. Right. New York's all the same to me. Concrete.
But, Isaac, I love the way you talked about that, too. No flashbacks. And for me, watching it, finally finishing it, but the other thing, too, when you meet the people, everything you need to know in a week, meeting his dad was finally, that also, the dad's outlook on life, you realize, woo, this is where he gets some of his outlook on life. It's bitter, it's hard as nails, and yet you like him. He's trying to improve. He's got art in his soul, but still that dad, wow. That's,
Yeah, I think... and his dad is obviously has either Alzheimer's or dementia, and I think that can be like a really. I like how that is handled in this film, because like struggling with like relatives with Alzheimer's and dementia, it's like he has a hard time going to visit his dad, and at first, like, it is like obvious in his conversation with his sister that him and his dad have gotten into it and stuff. And so I thought it was more of that at first. And then when he actually has the interaction with his dad, I understand that it's like sometimes it's just really hard to see someone you love so much when they have no way of communicating or really being there with you, even if they want to. And I think I think it's handled very delicately and very beautiful that he's singing this song that is for sure a memory that is long logged by his dad. He's playing a song that his dad liked to hear him play when he was younger. And you see his dad kind of looks out to the sea, and he's like this old, sailor. And, he has this moment where it's like this guy who is obviously like the tough as nails. I get the vibe. He's a bootstraps type of guy.
Oh, yeah.
But you do see he kind of like, he's allowing himself to be sentimental, like kind of this...
Right.
With his son in this moment, even if he doesn't want to. Like, it's hard to say how much of his mental capacity is there. I mean, he, defecates himself in that scene. But, I also like Llewyn allowing himself to actually be vulnerable with his dad, be vulnerable with Grossman, not be vulnerable with
plenty of the other
characters.
Like the bar owner.
Like the bar owner?
Yeah, he is not sympathetic when he's talking to the bar owner. He is harsh on all the people that come into play. It's like, you got this person with a washboard to come in? That's not music. It's just like this cynic.
Yeah.
That's just like...
Yeah.
Or like when he's visiting the professors, who obviously, like, his professor has... they're showing him a lot of kindness. I think he's really appreciative of that, and I think he also respects that, like, these people are some of the only people in my life who I think he views as decent people. You know what I mean? And, like, he keeps them tries to keep them somewhat separate from the chaos that is the rest of his life. But even then,
He breaks.
He breaks and he lashes out because there's ultimately a trauma, right, that has happened in
Mike.
this character, Mike, his partner, that is too much for him to... He doesn't know how to process it. He doesn't know how to handle it. He doesn't know how to deal with it. And he lashes out at her because she starts trying to sing Mike's part. And
Right.
Nobody sings Mike's part.
no one sings Mike's part.
It's like...
What is the-
this is slightly off topic, but it's kind of like Mako Iwamatsu, who was a voice actor, prominent voice actor. He was the voice of Uncle Iroh.
Dude, I'm going to start crying. I know...
In Avatar: The Last Airbender. And he had in the final episode, and the final thing he recorded, he had his own song.
Leaves from the Vine.
Yeah, Leaves from the Vine. And
I hate you, dude.
Greg, I'm sorry, Cole, but you're gonna make me. If you cry, I cry. But Greg Baldwin, who's the voice actor that's now known as the Mako Iwamatsu
Impersonator.
basically, because that's what his entire career has become.
Yeah.
But
Because Mako is this very successful, very beloved voice actor.
Yeah.
And
And
once he
it's-
passed, Greg Baldwin essentially took over.
yeah, because he was the
All of
only
his
one that
parts.
could do Mako's
Yeah,
voice.
voice.
But fans always come up to him and like, "Hey, can you sing Leaves from the Vine? Hey, can you sing Leaves from the Vine?" And he's like, "No, I will never sing that song because that's Mako's song."
Right.
And it's
is.
like
That's a
very
good
much the
comparison.
same thing with Llewyn,
And
where
that-
it's like,
well, and
that's
that-
Mike.
And that song in itself is an ode to his son that he lost in the show. And so it was the last thing that Mako as the character recorded, and it is this very personal message.
Yeah.
And there is like a real parallel with Llewyn, where it's like all these folk songs, even if they are folk music, is like a expression of the soul. It is very much supposed to be something that is intimate. And
A lot of these are Dave Van Ronk songs.
Yeah.
Like pretty much all of Llewyn's songs that he sings are actually Dave Van Ronk
Van Ronk.
songs
Yeah.
himself, and they're just like cover songs.
yeah, and these songs are intimate and something he shared intimately with his partner, even if it's just from like a
Right.
musical standpoint.
Which was also called Fare Thee Well,
Yeah,
and then his partner ended
Yeah.
up committing suicide.
yeah.
Ultimately,
Right.
And
The George Washington Bridge,
yeah,
not the
You know,
Brooklyn Bridge.
those
not the Brooklyn.
the couple, the sociologist professor and his wife, kind of almost, and she may be a professor too. For a little bit, I was thinking they almost feel like the parents of his partner that had committed suicide, but they're not, but they kind of have that role. And I really like y'all's take on that. That nobody could, that she's singing and nobody should really, like you mentioned with the voice actor, nobody should really play that part. Nobody should really do that. There's a really good podcast, The Left of the Projector, which dissects this film in an interesting way and kind of looks at it in an economic way. They also view that he doesn't want to be pulled out as a novelty item. It's like, oh, we get the sing, and I think there's some of that there, but I think even more where it really affects him is exactly what you guys are talking about. That's what his partner, that was a song, an poignant song, the partner had sung together, that they'd sung together, and that's just verboten terrible.
Yeah,
I think that song "Fare Thee Well" is the thing that's constantly on Llewyn's mind, like just on repeat, like a broken record almost, because I think it's so deeply connected with him and Mike. And so when he's prompted to sing a song, like pull a song out of his ass, he's like trying not to, and then like he gets the guitar, but like the thing he knows that he can play just like on a whim like this, where he's not going, I know I'm gonna sing a song, is Fare Thee Well. Because that's like the first song we hear when he wakes up at the very beginning of the movie is Fare Thee Well, and then like it comes back again here. And so it's kind of already like he's teetering on that emotional edge just a little bit. And then I forget her name, but she ends up kind of nudging him over that cliff a little bit too much when she starts singing the part that nobody should sing.
The harmony.
Wife
Yeah,
of
the
the
harmony.
should he have played that song for F. Murray Abraham in Chicago? 'Cause
Right.
the song in Chicago, you're thinking he's going to do something kind of folksy, and instead he kind of goes into kind of that Renaissance type style with that song.
Death
and F.
of
Murray
Queen
Abraham
Jane.
says what a line, I don't see any money in that.
What's funny is that's actually
it's-
in the folk scene.
Yeah.
That song
Exactly.
is the most covered song
Yeah.
because it's a poem, and then they just
Right.
added like music accompaniment
Yeah.
to it. So the reason why the Coen brothers chose that, I picked this up
Yeah.
from the documentary, obviously, but is because it's like so ingrained in the Greenwich Village like folk scene because everybody turned that poem into a song to some degree,
Wow.
including Dave Van Ronk,
Yeah.
and I think even Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
But Bob Dylan, so many people cover Bob Dylan songs. I
Right.
don't know if he did a cover song.
Constant battle with Bob Dylan.
It just
Because he covers a lot of songs, and then also he's covered grossly.
yeah, and then like yeah, you listen to songs like, man, I really love this song. Then you find out, oh, I love it because it's a cover song of Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
that.
to talk about his being a novelty is
Oh,
something
yeah.
that like that is I think something as someone who does performance or any type of artwork or just like the way you live your life, that is a really bad feeling, particularly when someone is of a higher economic class of you and you feel like you're being pulled out as a novelty for them. You know,
Like a circus monkey.
right, and I do think that bugs him, but he ultimately is like, these are good people. I'm going to play a song for them. He opens himself up to actually do a real performance because it's something emotional, something that is like intimate for him. And like you said, it's probably what's always on his mind during this time. And then she tries to insert herself into it, and that feels
Yeah.
like what was a small invasion that I was willing to overlook is now this huge invasion of my privacy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that sets him
Yeah.
over the top in a way we don't really see throughout the film. Like, he's really gruff and like he's super pessimistic and whatever, but like that is the only time we see him with like real, like, that is bona fide rage that we see
Yeah.
in that scene. You know?
That's the only time I feel like Oscar Isaac is gonna go like
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac from Moon Knight,
Yeah.
or Space Daddy from Dune.
Yeah.
just kill you
Yeah,
right there.
full. He's merciless in that scene, you know. And then, like,
Yeah.
immediately the moment she leaves, you can see it, like the humanity comes back to him, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh
He
man."
feels really bad because
Yeah, and
knows
then
not
she
to
comes
be
back out and
good,
is like,
so-
"This isn't our cat."
where is scrotum, Llewyn? Where's its scrotum?
That was the best. You know, and just when you need some humor, there it is. There's no scrotum.
But I love the cinematography
Yeah,
of this movie because this is a rare Coen Brothers
Yeah.
film that the DP was not Roger Deakins.
yeah,
This is their backup when Roger Deakins is too busy.
yeah.
It's I just had him pulled up. Well, hold on. Let me scroll down. I just had him pulled up. Bruno Del Bono.
Yeah.
And he also did The Ballad of Buster Scruggs,
Yeah.
also a Coen Brothers,
Ah,
and
yeah.
The Tragedy of Macbeth, the half Coen
Brother
Brother
movie, right?
And he did most recently The Phoenician Scheme.
Oh, okay, with Wes Anderson.
Yeah, so
Wow.
but like if you connect, I haven't even seen
Yeah.
half of these, but actually I've only seen Llewyn now that I think about
Yeah.
it. But even if you look at it, he has that kind of
You
similar
would like
style.
Buster Scruggs. You should give
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I keep
speaks to
meaning
that,
to, and
yeah.
then I forget it exists.
Yeah.
And then I end up going back to the same loophole of like, I need to watch it, and then I get to
Right,
the chance,
right.
and then I forget. Anyway, you see that he does a lot of soft lighting.
Yeah.
Really soft
Right.
lighting, and then like
Everyone looks. I think that also adds to the black and white
does.
aesthetic
Yeah,
because
to the
everyone
feeling
looks
that it's-
like they have like that light glow that it like really feels. I don't
Yeah,
know that there's a look to it.
there's a word for that. It's called halation.
Halation, yes.
Also, there's also the bloom, and there's a little bit of bloom. There's mostly halation with this,
Yeah.
but it kind of feels to me like those old timey photos, where it was
Oh, yeah.
technically black and white, but because the way printers were,
Yeah.
it was like there was like a little bit of color punched into it. Like cyan was
Right.
usually a common one, because it has like the like pastel colors,
Yeah.
really, like very washed, like earthy tones for the most part. and it kind of like helps you feed into this world of like, as you were saying, like lost nostalgia or whatever
Right.
terminology you pulled out.
Right.
Your ass.
Nostalgia for a time you don't.
Right.
You've never lived.
And then you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that's like my grandpappy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's like the old timey photo that you would see in like a history book.
Right.
Or if
Right.
if you're like me, you took history of rock and roll in college, and you have a textbook,
Yeah.
music textbook, and there's some pictures in there.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of feels
Yeah,
like.
no,
though.
it does. It does. It looks like, it looks like the cover of Free Will and Bobby Dylan. Like, it looks like some of these old covers for these old folk
Yeah,
albums.
it looks like inside Dave Van Ronk.
Yeah,
album,
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
which, if you're unsure what that album looks like, Cole,
Yeah.
in the scene when he hands
It looks
hands-
just like that.
Yeah, when he hands it off to F. Murray Abraham, that vinyl record, replace Oscar
Right.
Isaac with Dave Van
Yeah,
Ronk,
and that's
exactly
it.
what
Yeah.
it looks like. Because, like, even Oscar, like, what he wears is
Yeah.
just Dave Van
Yeah.
Ronk. Like, he's just walking Dave Van Ronk, but less successful and more broke.
There is some common threads, though, you can see with from the cinematography from other Coen Brothers movies, even some of the Deakins
absolutely.
movies. Primarily, they love close-ups with wide lenses. They like to get the camera like
Yeah.
here, because they like the distortion of the character's features whenever you use a wide lens for a close-up. I've heard them talk about it in multiple different
That's
reviews.
true. Yeah.
And we start off the movie with the cat's face, and the camera is obviously like this to that cat's face.
Yeah, it's like right next to
Because I
it.
mean, like his face is completely distorted. It looks almost flat and like incredibly wide, and it's he's a very plump cat, but he's not like. He almost looks like a weird like caricature of himself in that, and I think it's also interesting. The other time I noticed that a whole lot is when Llewyn is singing. Is another time when we're getting really close with a wide lens and we're purposely distorting his face a little bit, and I do think it's supposed to give, at least the way I interpret it, I think, as a viewer, was that like this is a different version of himself. Like a lot of his other like medium and close shots that aren't him playing seem more traditional, where he looks more like himself, but it is when he's distorted whenever he's playing, and I think that is like, I'm assuming that is a very cognitive decision being made.
I really do think it is, because most of the time that's the only time we see him be relatively vulnerable.
Right.
And like open.
Yeah.
Is like
Right.
when he's singing, because you see it in F. Murray Abraham scene.
Yeah.
When he's like really pouring his heart out on this
Yeah.
like Queen Jane song.
Yeah.
And then F. Murray
Right.
Abraham's like, "You had a duo, y'all should get back together."
Yeah, and
And he's like,
that's a good idea.
"I'll think about it."
No.
I don't
Right,
see any
and then
money
he
in that.
immediately drops the vulnerability. It's just
Yeah.
like a quick sting,
Yeah.
like every other time he shows up.
Right. And I think it's interesting that the distorted image of him is the more honest.
The more honest. Yeah. Really getting in, up close to him, and where elsewhere further back he's got those walls built, and
Yeah, he's more like the pretty image of himself that like he builds, because he's obviously like this type of character is someone that is like attractive to people. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, he is a kind of a loose cannon, and he's a struggling artist, but
He's Oscar Isaac.
And he's Oscar Isaac. So there's just a lot of mystique about him, you know?
Yeah.
And that mystique go kind of, I don't want to say goes away, but like, mystique doesn't generally equal vulnerability. And the scenes where that camera is way up on him is when he's vulnerable.
Right.
And the audience dissipates whenever he stops playing, starts playing for the most part.
Right.
And the focus is truly just on him, the guitar, and the microphone.
That's what I was about to get at, because between the art direction and the lighting, and I guess even the lens choice to the extent, you see it draws your eyes to Llewyn.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yes, we're looking at very muted tones. Like, he's wearing a brown jacket, but everything else around him is a lot, like, more muted.
Yeah.
So, like, he really sticks out like a
The
sore
gaslight
thumb.
is gray stone.
Yeah.
You know, like the only thing the brown jacket is going to pop in front of.
And
you know,
like,
Great stuff.
background people are kind of wearing blands, like black, gray, white colors. Whereas all the folksy people are kind of literally stick out like sore thumbs.
You mean the 4 men in the matching knitted sweaters and blue collared shirts?
Or Justin Timberlake with his sweater.
And also like Janine with her red turtleneck.
Oh yeah,
Right.
almost
Right,
like a femme. Well, maybe not a femme fatale, but like you know how like in noirs you got a femme fatale that like always sticks out and is always wearing red or something. It's kind of like the same thing there.
Yeah, and she's
You'll get there, buddy. I believe.
well, her role in this is really interesting as a character.
Yeah, because she got knocked up by Llewyn.
Yeah. Well, that and then like we also like the bar owner claims that he slept with her to give them a position. I don't know if that's true. Like if that's honestly true,
But it could be.
but it could be. But it could be. I honestly, she seems like she's so adamant. She, unlike Llewyn, is very much willing to give up a lot of like her moral high ground to get what she wants. We see that by just the face that they have that argument about how they each tackle their art, where she is like very much like, I'm hoping this can get me into the suburbs in a comfortable like middle class situation, and then I don't necessarily have to like be doing this the way I'm doing it now. Where Llewyn is like, no matter how much success I have, I don't think there's any way I wouldn't stop pursuing this the way I currently am. Like,
And that's such a good question, art versus commerce, that you come across in the film, and the little the trio that F. Murray or Abraham invites him, not forming a trio, that ends up being that's Peter, Paul, and Mary. And so this is the film. And this is just me personally. I had never viewed them as sort of sellouts, but they did make it big, and they did the commercial things they needed, as did Bob Dylan, even electric Bob Dylan at a certain point. Doing what they needed to do to get into commercial music. And I think this film kind of brings that up too, Cole. You were kind of heading in that direction, and I just but it doesn't. You could say, okay, they lose their authenticity, they go commercial, but on the other hand, they want to pursue their careers in music. What are the options? It almost, Llewyn Davis probably could use a break. I mean, and every time he has anything to do with copyrights, because of his economic situation that we talked about, the royalties, he gives them up.
and that is the same thing as the boot conversation, right? Or the situation with these things.
To be poor.
It's expensive to be poor, because they bring up the fact, and when he did it, I was like, never say no to royalties. You never. Hey, the one thing that you learn as someone who like wants to perform or produce any type of content,
Never give up royalties.
you never ever give up royalties. It doesn't matter how broke you are. That is the one way to have like sustainable money. You never give up royalties.
Because something can blow up so big.
You don't know, and then it could blow up 10 years from now. You know, like, and it's the one thing you're watching him
regret.
Yeah, well, and you see
And
him
he gives
where
them
he's
up
like,
without
I
a
have to
thought.
have the money now to survive. To survive, I need this money. So I don't have time to go through my record label. I don't have time to do all this stuff. Because Mel is terrible. His record label.
Mel's not a great producer.
Yeah. But he's like, I don't have time to go.
You kind of want to like him at first, His secretary's awful, and but then you realize when you meet F. Murray Abraham, you didn't get any money from that guy, did you? It's like,
Yeah.
nope, he's terrible. Yeah.
No, he's exploiting him. He's
Yeah.
exploiting
Exploiting him.
that guy's in a position, put himself in a position to exploit struggling artists.
Yes. Yeah.
Very much so.
And that's why he won't take his coat, because he knows he's been exploited.
Yeah.
I don't want your coat. It just, yeah. There's so much beneath. When you first watch it, you go, "That's stupid. Take the coat. It's freezing outside." Then you realize, no, he's standing up for himself, and he knows how he's being used.
Yeah, and then his Mel tries to pull like the kind of like the white knight card. You know what I mean? Where
I saved you.
I
found you.
You're gonna talk to me like that after I offer you the coat off my back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the classic manipulation tactic.
Yeah.
I forgot. I lost it.
Yeah.
You seem like you had something to say though.
No, I mean it's. I think that is. For instance, there was a time when I was acting a lot more, particularly when I first went to college, and I was looking for a local agent to represent me. And like one of the best advices I ever got is like, hey, if you are signing up, if you're looking for an agent and that agent is asking you for a relatively large sum of cash up front, that's not who you need to be signing. That's not it. Because that person gets paid off the percentage of the work they find you. Okay? That's how it's supposed to function. And so like there are so many agents that are just like, yeah, I'll be your agent. All it costs is a $900 fee to get signed up with our agency. But they're really just here for like local people who want to better themselves, just to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and then they're never actually trying to get them work. You know, we'll get you enough auditions to where you're not calling up here angry at me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, when it's really, if I believe in your talent, I should be okay with 10% of whatever you make, because I'm confident I can get you enough work to where that pays me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have you guys ever seen A Mighty Wind?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. It's by Christopher Guest. It's a follow-up of Spinal Tap. It's the same kind of thing with The Mighty Wind. And you were mentioning the woman where the bartender says, "Well, yeah, I slept with her." You know what's her name again in this film?
Janine.
Right. Well, there's in A Mighty Wind, which is a mockumentary about folk singers getting together in circa around 2000 to do a PBS concert. There's a character in that reminds me so much. It's Mitch and Mickey, and which is an old folk trio from like they were big in the 60s, but now it's 40 years later, and so they're coming together for this concert. But Eugene Levy is Mitch, and Catherine O'Hara is Mickey. And it turns out as the movie goes around, Mitch is finding out how many folk singers Catherine O'Hara has slept around with. And it just reminded me, because of the folk music, but that is an incredible film, A Mighty Wind. It's like Spinal Tap meets, the folk era.
Yeah.
Speaking of folk era, how about that Bob Dylan cameo?
Yeah, dude, we get a little Bobby Dylan.
Yeah. With his classic rough voice.
Yeah.
How many roads must a man
and
then we get copyright strike.
Fairly well.
Fairly well.
How do you think the movie? What does it say about Bob Dylan? What is the? What kind of comment are we getting out of the film?
I think it's saying. I think what's crazy. I keep saying I think. That like. Small, not even a full minute, goes to show the amount, like the power of Bob Dylan's music had on the industry, because he shows up, you don't see his face, you see a silhouette. It was probably some no-name actor playing him, and it was definitely just like some recording of his song that they played over, because it's very hard to do a Bob Dylan voice, especially a singing Bob Dylan voice. While acting, but in that like 20 seconds you see it, that's the moment where you're like, oh, this is when the folk scene kicks off.
Right.
And like Llewyn keeps looking at him. Like every other artist that comes this way, he's just kind of whatever.
I think,
except for Jim and Janine, because he knows them, he's friends with them, he knows their music. Yeah, sure, he might look at them.
Yeah.
But every other artist that comes, he's like, he looks, and then he's like, I've seen enough.
I think that is the tell. Because I also even think with the scene when Jim and Janine get up there, he's like, there is a little bit of like a...
They're all right.
They're all right.
They're better than everybody else that comes in.
But they're not as good as they could be because they're not in it the same way. Like,
Yeah,
I definitely think that's a vibe.
They're going for the money.
Right.
And the more popular kind of thing.
He, like, I mean, when he looks at Jim and is like, who wrote this? You know, when they're doing the pop song?
Yeah.
And
because he knew them when they were younger.
Yeah.
Or younger.
And they were the driven
much
people.
more driven.
Yeah. And he looks at all the other performers a certain way, and then when Bob Dylan pops up, he's walking outside and he can't not look at the stage.
And then he gets beat up.
And we hear Bob Dylan playing while he's getting absolutely pommeled.
Gets beat up by the husband of the washboard woman. And then the end of the movie, when we see it the second time, we see how it really ends, and au revoir. And wow, that's whew.
Yeah,
What a film.
That really shows. And Bob Dylan is a figure that didn't just bring the folk scene to be profitable. He made music even better. Because, like we were saying, so many songs are covered. Knocking on Heaven's Door, Guns N' Roses, cover song.
My dad, and I don't want to, like, completely roast my dad on here, but, like, one thing about him that is always... He does not like Bob Dylan.
But he likes Bob Dylan
songs. But he'll say that because me and him, because I love Bob Dylan, and we'll get into, like, you know, little arguments about it. And he'll be like, look, I think the guy's one of the best songwriters to ever live. He goes, I just prefer artists who can sing.
You know, my guitar teacher, she was awesome, and she kind of liked Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Because she also did choir.
Yeah.
She was also like her and somebody else that were like the choir directors. So they were doing all the vocals.
Yeah.
And like teaching how to sing. So that was her biggest gripe with Bob Dylan. She couldn't stand the gruffness in his voice. And it was the same thing with Janis Joplin. Like, no matter how good the songs were, it could not stand the gruffness in the voice.
Is that Debbie
that hurts
you're talking about?
And then...
Is it Debbie from Kelly?
Yeah! It was Debbie!
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so funny.
Hey, maybe she would like this music. Or the song.
This movie! I might have doxed Debbie a little bit.
What?
I might have doxed Debbie a little bit.
Yeah, we did. I feel like we've already doxed everybody. I mean, the very first episode, you were talking about your friends. We said first names for everybody, except you went straight up. Yeah, my good friend, James Cottingham. And Carter.
Hey,
Carter.
He wants the publicity. It's okay. No, I think that is the talent of Bob Dylan, though. Because, like, first of all, this movie doesn't get made if Bob Dylan never existed.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And the movie is not about him.
Yeah. There's a very good chance it could have been made.
Dave Von Ronk. And you guys have a good knowledge. I was going to just shout out to a friend of mine, Alex. I was texting him because I knew his father was a folk singer and a professor too, an English professor. And so I was texting him, and he mentioned that his dad was a huge Von Ronk fan, had his records, and he always felt he was genuine or earthy in that he was not a college boy, as many as the folk movement were. He identified, Dave Van Ronk identified more with workers, rural Americans, the downtrodden. That's and again, the Coen brothers, that's classic for them to kind of go after.
What I mean by that, I don't think this movie would have been made, is more that this movie would
have been the same.
Well, this movie is also just largely about the Greenwich Village scene.
And you can't talk about folk music in general.
Yeah.
Unless without mentioning Bob Dylan.
Right. And,
Yeah, right.
He's what brought people's eyes, mainstream eyes, to the scene, and it not just staying this localized phenomenon.
Without sacrificing his like integrity.
Right.
Like he didn't intentionally try to make it mainstream.
Yeah.
He was just that good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and then spends a lot of his life, even after he's big, and certainly later on in his life, in trying to avoid the mainstream media.
Yeah, he's very shy.
At all cost.
Right.
You know, the guy is
and then he gets
true
played by
recluse.
Timothée Chalamet.
And next thing you know, he's in a movie by Timothée Chalamet. But I do think that's really, it's really interesting. It's like, you know, he's, like he was, Bob Dylan was like near Woodstock when Woodstock was like happening by just pure chance. And like they were like, dude, you know, if you went, like people would like freak out if you just showed up at Woodstock. And he was just like, absolutely not.
Yeah, and
You know,
Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah.
who was at Woodstock, ended up his most famous song
yeah,
is a cover
it was
song
like
of
a Bob Dylan.
And Bob Dylan saw it in concert and went, "That's not my song. That's Jimmy's
song,
song."
yeah. So I think it's just such an interesting because I think Bob Dylan was, I can't remember the exact story. I think he's like rehabbing from like some type of accident. This is when the Basement tapes are being made and it became a thing.
I mean, he survived the 27-year-old curse.
Yeah.
The 27 curse
Yeah.
of a musician. So probably rehab
Yeah, it would. Well, I think it.
or accident of some
Yeah,
sort.
I can't remember. I don't know why my brain's saying motorcycle accident. I don't think that's factual. But the all you know is just like Bob Dylan has such like a weird way that he's so directly connected to he's the first.
Oh, yeah.
He's the like to music at this time. Not that like
Beatles.
the Beatles. He's the
It's like one or two of their songs.
He's also like a lot of people. This is like how much truth is behind this, but it is always like one of those little rock like legend lore pieces. But like he's like the Beatles experienced cannabis for the first time because of Bob Dylan, supposedly,
which changed everything for them.
Well, I mean, like they were this pop band coming over from overseas, and then Bob Dylan was like, "Let me get you engulfed into the culture here." And supposedly,
Wow.
that you know, he like brought him down to Greenwich Village and
Try this out.
Try this out, you know?
You crumpets.
yeah. But also like I don't know, every Beatles contraband story always starts with "it was someone else," so I don't know. You know,
They don't want to.
it was the dentist is the classic one for LSD.
That's so funny.
But anyway, it's just like so weird because like, yeah. Anyway, Bob Dylan, cool dude.
we could do a whole
Bob
episode of
Dylan. Yeah.
And you and I.
I know what you're talking about with Bob
both
Dylan.
absolutely
Kind of
love Bob.
compares, and this is from a really good author, M. Keith Booker. Writes a lot of film related stuff and got a good book on the Coen brothers work and he did different chapters on different films. Does a deep dive into Inside Llewyn Davis, and he makes a good comparison to Bob Dylan's, because he's kind of enigmatic when it comes to his politics, and there's so much of the folk music scene is more overt protest leftist kind of politics,
Yeah.
but Dylan kind of pulls back from that, and it's kind of interesting. The Coen brothers do too. And sometimes you're thinking, oh, they're got to be like this, or and they keep a little sense of enigma about themselves too.
Yeah.
I just kind of interesting that what they're talking about also reflects who they are as filmmakers.
Yeah,
and
but I think you see more commonly with the Coen brothers a classist thing,
Right.
than a
Right.
political thing.
Good
For instance,
point.
this movie is peak. It's expensive to be poor.
Yeah.
Like it's the pinnacle
Exactly.
of that. And then
And you can track that back to Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
in there, that
No
classist
Country
thing
for Old
is-
Men,
Yeah.
like a guy down on his luck,
Yeah. Is willing to do a lot.
is willing to do a lot. The Big
Brother Ralph.
Lebowski. There's the Big Lebowski who's rich and has a ton of money, and
Yeah.
then there's the Big Lebowski
Yeah.
that does the complete opposite.
He's big at the bowling lanes.
Right. Right. What it
Come
means
on,
to get your
dude.
carpet peed on,
Right. Well, it really did tie the room together.
And then, oh brother, where art thou? You kind of see that a little bit between the three of them. Only one of them is truly educated.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, it's like when we talk about, and I think the comparison with Bob Dylan is there too, which is weird to say about music because it's not like a visual art form, but there's like this concept of like showing and not telling. And I think when you talk about like politics and Coen Brothers movies, it is not there. It's because they don't want to tell you something. And like I like a lot of Adam McKay movies, but it gets very clear in a lot of his films that he wants to directly tell you something. Where like the Coen Brothers would rather just show you, like it's almost like a morality play. Like we're almost like we want to show you why, you can be like left leaning and think these classes like this classism is wrong, or like like just these general ideas. But he doesn't have characters that preach that in the films. He has characters that show you these things in the films. And I actually think like Bob Dylan's music isn't as straight forward left leaning as a lot of his contemporaries, but a lot of his film is about how like, well, I mean, a lot of his music is about how everyday people don't feel like they're down on the luck, or they don't have the same ways to catapult themselves.
Yeah, and here's a crazy loop around back to an earlier part of our conversation when O'Brien mentioned The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan's song "The Times They Are Changing."
The times they are
is
changing.
the exact
Right.
topic of conversation. Like that encompasses like that era,
100%.
that movie. Now I'm doing. Now you got me saying movie instead of music.
Yeah.
But that song keeps coming. Keeps talking about like it's like the Vietnam War, and it's also really hard to dissect. And this I think is because Bob Dylan never openly expresses anything. Because I remember I had to do something for like an English class one time, and we had a list of like stuff that we could pick from to pick apart. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna do Bob Dylan. Because I've heard this song, "The Times They Are Changing," like a million times. I got this, and then I had to like, because it's a university, I had to throw in a minimum like 5 credits. And I was like, I can't find anything. Yeah. I have to BS half of this.
Yeah. And it's that song is like a great example of what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like I think that is a politically charged song, but it's not as something like. Like I love Buffalo Springfield, but they're like, a lot of their political messaging is way more on the nose, while like where Bob Dylan is very much like, I'm going to paint you this picture and you should be able to get the idea yourself.
Like the Coen brothers do. Yeah.
Like the Coen brothers do. And
it
this
resonates because you're made to think. It resonates longer. It hits you later. You go, wow. And
the Coen brothers are like good folk music.
Yeah.
And that's why, look, folk music and country music is like the butter to the Coen brothers, like bread.
Yeah.
It's like bread and butter. Well, or would it be a peanut butter jelly sandwich? Because, no, that's what it is. The Coen brothers are peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
And then the bread is the country folk music.
Yeah, well, and then like country and folk are also like obviously they're very connected.
It's very similar.
Right. But they're and also like blues is also very prevalent in Coen Brothers movies. But there is like an element where like these are American like art forms that are very much rooted in storytelling themselves.
Yeah. They're not quite Americana films that they typically make, but they always make it like American themed.
Yeah.
Or like kind of like they create. I know O'Brien has a book called like the Coen Brothers like Midwest or something like that, but like they always like have their own sort of world of America, right? Because half of them take place in the Midwest, and then the others take place in the South. I think this is the black sheep. Because it's not in the Midwest, it's not in the South, it's in New York City, which is very different from both of those places. And I love that they always paint this kind of like this little picture. But they do typically have like, despite who this DP is, they have that like old timey look to their movies that like create that sense of nostalgia, which is funny because once when they started making their own movies separately, that got lost. That's not there anymore. But for the most part, aside from the Macbeth one that the one made, I forget. I think that one was Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ethan's the one with the lesbian wife, and that's why he makes all the lesbian movies now. That's not a joke.
Dolls.
Wait.
What a great Drive-Away Dolls is so good. Oh man, that's
Are you just piecing together what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Ethan and his wife.
Yeah.
Apparently, I found this out recently because he has a new movie coming out with Chris Evans in it.
Yeah.
And the main character is a lesbian woman.
Yeah.
Or obviously, but she. I saw a comment was like, so is this like the third movie he's made in a row about a lesbian? And then somebody was like, yeah, it's because of his lesbian wife. And somebody was like, I don't think those words connect.
Yeah.
They're like, no, she identifies as a lesbian, and they've talked about it where they're in a kind of like an open marriage sort of thing. So like they have other partners, and she has been writing the last couple movies, and then since Ethan is a director, he just kind of directs it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And to think Coen Brothers would not be here if they didn't help make Evil Dead 2. The silence is deafening.
Well, I gotta admit, I was thinking with these references, has Jeff Goldblum ever been in?
Oh, that was forced. You forced that one in.
I can't be forced if O'Brien says it.
I am not sure.
Has Jeff Goldblum ever been in a...
Not been in a Coen
In a Coen Brothers?
Yeah.
Not yet, I don't think.
Not yet.
Someone died.
But he was... But the DP for this movie was the DP for the Phoenician Scheme, which is Wes Anderson.
Which obviously has Jeff Goldblum.
And
so
probably at least at the very least a cameo.
So.
I don't think he's one of the main characters. But Wes Anderson has directed several Goldblums over the years.
You know, one thing, the special features on this are fantastic.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, this is why you get a Criterion film. You saw the documentary. Yeah. I watched part of the interview with Guillermo del Toro. I was within 3 minutes and got sidetracked. And then there's that little documentary with T-Bone Burnett. Yeah. And that was amazing. They talk about cover songs and what it truly is authentic. The song is, it's almost like Johnny Cash's version, like the ownership of the song, like you get Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, but Johnny Cash performs it so well. Speaking of the bread of our peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Johnny Cash does it so well. And then 9 Inch Nails says, well, Johnny, this is your song now. And they talk about all that sense of where do songs really come from. And T-Bone Burnett mentioned, well, they really probably go back to Play-Doh on this little special feature. It is an amazing special feature. He even talks about this film is at the intersection of postmodernism, where the world is changing to kind of like a new type of capitalism, computers, digital, kind of instead of like pull up yourself by the bootstraps type of capitalism, it's world kind of a true world global type capitalism. And here's folk music in the middle of it, kind of standing almost against that, kind of. And it's a great special feature. Unbelievable. This Criterion Collection, physical media.
Yet again, here's 2 reasons Bob Dylan's so influential. 1, this movie's not about Bob Dylan, but it basically encompasses Bob Dylan's song, The Times They Are Changing.
Exactly.
And 2, the ownership. Exactly. Bob Dylan has basically given ownership to
a lot of songs.
Jimi Hendrix is basically the guy that is
Along the Watchtower.
yeah, All Along the Watchtower. Thank you, Cole.
Oh,
But also, Jimi Hendrix also has a couple other songs like Sergeant Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't know if you know the story behind this, but so that song, the Beatles dropped a brand new album
Right.
on a Friday, as albums typically do. I guess this is more for O'Brien because I have a feeling Cole already knows this, but
no, keep going. I
Yeah,
do not. Yeah,
but-
they dropped the album on a Friday.
Jimi Hendrix that Friday night was going to do a performance. Like he was on tour, so he was going to do a performance. And he showed up late to meet his band. And they were like, "Where have you been?" He was like, "Hold on, I want to play this song."
Yeah.
And he pulls out the record that he had just purchased like 4 hours prior to being there. And he plays it for them. And they're like, "We can't play that." He was like, "No, I figured out how to play the whole song."
Yeah. I'll teach it to you real
And
quick.
he taught his entire band how to play Sergeant Pepper. And to make it even crazier, the Beatles, Jimmy knew the Beatles was going to be at his concert.
Oh,
And not only were they there in the front row. And the first song he plays, he comes out playing Sergeant Pepper. And the Beatles were so blown away, they were like, "We're never putting this in our concert because that's Jimmy's song."
Yeah.
wow.
And like the balls to say, "I'm going to play your song,"
Yeah.
knowing that you're going to be here in the concert, that's already crazy. Doing it same day of release is even crazier. If you do a bad job, you soured everybody's mouth. Like, I don't know if you've ever
Right.
seen the one lady, I can't remember who it was. She did a cover song of one of Sting's song, I think "Every Breath You Take,"
Yeah.
and it was so bad. And Sting's in the audience, and he is it's like the worst day of his life.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy had such a crazy ear, and then Sergeant Pepper was such an influential album, completely changed music.
Crazy.
Wow.
But like that goes to show you that like music changes ownership depending on who has it. Unless you're Taylor Swift. But
That special feature points out, and I do not remember all the names, but I think the Fare Thee Well song may have been first recorded. And on that special feature, you learned that it was recorded on a phonograph. You know, when they used to record directly to a record before tapes.
yeah.
In 1904, by a black woman, started, and I'm not sure if that's the song, but it references that in the,
Okay.
you know,
That's
how
cool.
long that song's been around. 1904, straight to a record. Yeah.
I know the
Yes.
"Hang Me, Oh Hang Me" song is the Dave Van Ronk, and I think "Green Road,"
Yeah.
Green Road, that one. I think that one's also Dave Van Ronk. I'm not quite sure. I just know the very last song you hear, which is "Hang Me," and it's playing during the credits.
Yeah.
Is the Dave Van Ronk version.
Yeah.
Right.
But are we ready for?
We could give a bean count.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, I already said like this is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And so like I did take away something from our conversation from even though I've seen it several times.
Yeah.
So it's not like this was a completely pointless endeavor for me. But I think I still give it a solid 9. I think Oscar Isaac's performance is amazing. And also crazy now that I was sitting here thinking about it, he's with Adam Driver, who he ends up eventually playing alongside with in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he's with F. Murray Abraham, who he eventually plays alongside with in Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of a weird
That is
coincidence.
interesting.
That is a
Yeah.
weird
It's
coincidence
interesting.
that happened
And that Adam,
twice.
the Adam Driver part where they show up one time, and the John Goodman part.
Yeah, John. Oh, we didn't even
Yeah.
talk about John Goodman.
I was so surprised Cole never once
Oh,
mentioned
he was so good.
John Good. You see why I said he was my favorite character, though?
He steals the show, man.
I
He's in it.
see, and you Cole, I think you must have stopped before that part because I did. That was new to me when I stopped watching it like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And which when I would have given it like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
And now I am absolutely with you. Now I'm at my age watching it now. 9 for sure.
Yeah.
I mean that's a 9, and the special features are crazy on this. This is why you buy Criterion.
I think
DVD.
9 beans. from
Yeah, 9
Ethiopia, medium washed,
Yeah.
Oh,
processed.
these beans have been inside a cat.
An orange cat.
Yeah.
Orange cat.
The cat in this movie is so phenomenal.
Yeah, in the 43 documentary, there was like a solid 8, almost 10 minutes where they talked about how difficult it was shooting the cat.
Justifiably so. I knew that.
Because like you see it get out of his arms, and that just happened.
You don't realize how hard it is to shoot with animals until you do it.
But they had to.
They had
CGI
to.
wasn't that good.
Yeah.
They didn't have the budget for it.
Yeah, it's also better.
Yeah, it would have looked so funky.
Yeah.
CGI crypto works for CGI
Superman. Yeah.
but not
Not for something like this.
No.
A CGI
It's
cat
not the
would have been
Shazam
weird.
cat,
Yeah.
which is also an orange tabby, by the
That
way.
would be a real cat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna dive more into this. I love
All
this
day.
movie. I think for me it's 8, like 8 Haitian beans that are grounded with a crescent wrench.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention the crescent wrench thing. I may have forgotten the handle to the grinder. Everyone at
Yeah.
home, and there was no other way to grind the beans
Instead with a crescent wrench,
and-
very carefully.
Yeah, that was kind of miserable. That made it like 5 minutes to do instead of 50 seconds, but that's whatever. Yeah, and for me, it's not just how good the movie is; it's the rewatchability. It's not like one of those movies that's so good I can't watch it again.
Yeah.
Although we've talked about this before, I have definitely watched Black Swan at least once a year because I'm crazy
God.
and lunatic.
It literally makes my stomach do flips when I hear you say that.
And I always
man.
do it
I'll
around.
watch it again one day, but I still think I got a good
Will you
10
do it-
years in
will,
me.
Will you do it around Christmas time like I do?
Yeah, watching it like a yearly Christmas movie. Yeah. That's insane work.
I love that
I
movie.
mean, it's
But
a great movie.
That's a
but
movie
on
that-
the other hand, I can let a year go by without getting my fingernails on a chalkboard. Like it
Right.
would be like watching Black Swan. I can let 2 years go by.
Oh my gosh.
yeah. But that's another movie that deserves a Criterion, but that's neither here nor
Oh,
there.
100%. Yeah.
I already forgot, but yeah, this is a solid rewatchable film for me, and I love the music. And Oscar Isaac,
he's great.
oh my god, I need him to sing more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's
I
so
want to see those
good.
other were out there again.
Let's get this
It
guy
just-
to
it just makes
musical.
me
What's
wanna-
going on here?
Yeah, I don't know about
Musical.
why wasn't he Bob Dylan? Why was it Timothy? I mean, I get why. He
Yeah.
was much older than Bob Dylan, by that
Dylan,
point,
right, yeah.
and he doesn't really look like Bob Dylan.
Dylan? Yeah.
And I guess he's not Timothée Chalamet, who's being cast in everything.
Right.
But I mean, Oscar Isaac is like collecting franchises like their Infinity Stones.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what if he gets into the gun DC
The
situation.
Gunverse.
The Gunverse.
It's already been named.
Yeah.
like a year ago.
God.
But
I'm ready for it to be in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
That
He'd
would,
be
yeah.
awesome.
he can
Select
bring
that
back the
franchise.
Space Daddy energy. From
Yeah, honestly, you're kind of Oscar Isaac as a captain of the Enterprise would honestly go crazy.
Oh yeah.
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 Like with he kind of gives me like Anson Mount vibes a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Good
Young
point.
Kirk, I think it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But that would be
Or
pretty cool.
are you spinning the wheel?
Yes, I already spun it. It's ready if you want
Oh,
to
my
do
goodness.
the drum roll.
Oh yep.
Spine number 1041,
1041. Okay, a more recent one.
relatively, because
Yeah.
we're on like 1240.
Right.
So it's like 2,000 behind. Wow. Way to bring the conversation back to Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken is in this. It's called The Comfort of Strangers.
The comfort.
It stars Christopher Walken, Natasha Richardson, Rupert Everett, and Helen Mirren.
Okay.
Interesting.
and
I've
it's
seen
a
that
film
in
by-
browsing.
Paul Schrader.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's all right. You guys want to hear the Criterion synopsis?
Yeah, give
we'll
us
see
one.
if it gives
Yeah.
us the actual plot this time.
Right.
Adapting the acclaimed novel by Ian McEwan. That's a difficult. Try saying that 5 times fast. Ian McEwan. playwright and screenwriter Harold Pinter lends his trademark unnerving dialogue and air of creeping menace, I bet he's played by Christopher Walken, to this spellbinding study of power, control, and the frighteningly thin line between pleasure and pain. Rupert Everett and Natasha Richardson are the prey, a beautiful British couple working on their relationship while on a holiday in Venice. Christopher Walken and Helen Mirren are the hunters who draw them into the sinister web of their opulent old world palazzo.
Oh no.
What plays out is an unsettling sadomasochistic seduction imbued with an atmosphere of sumptuous dread by the elegantly gliding tracking shots of cinematographer Dante Spinotti. Lush score by Angelo. Oh God,
we're about to get Eyes Wide Shut.
Badalamenti, and carefully controlled direction of Paul Schrader, who choreographs a mesmerizing pas de trois of, I hope I said that right, as we've learned, I'm terrible with French, of sustained erotic and emotional tension. All right, let's look up any disclaimers, because that's what I'm feeling. That's a good screenshot, Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a trailer here.
You want like trigger warnings?
Yeah, trigger warnings just in case. Oh, this is on the Criterion channel. So easy watch for us.
It's a nice light fare.
There's interviews from 1981 and 2001 with the novelist of the Ian McEwan and actor Natasha Richardson. Interviews with Christopher Walken and the editor, and Schrader and Spinotti. Okay.
I've heard... Okay, so the thing I keep getting is obsessive and perverse sexuality.
So, I guess, like... Well, they do say seduction, so I don't think there's, like...
I don't think there's anything that's unconsensual, but there's definitely manipulation.
Yeah, there's definitely, like...
depending on how, like, you want to walk that line, if that's something...
It's going to be... if I see Christopher Walken, like, yeah, eat those strawberries covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah, that's
the kind of vibe
I think that's going to be the movie.
Well, I know my mother's skipping this movie because she despises Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Absolutely convinced that he killed Natalie Wood.
Okay.
And I think the only two movies that she's capable of watching with Christopher Walken
Jungle Book
is... The only three movies that she's capable of watching Christopher Walken in is Batman Returns, because she forgets he's in that, just like everybody else.
Right.
Jungle Book, but she prefers the original specifically because they gave Christopher Walken's eyes to the orangutan.
Right.
I want to be like, you hoo. I want to talk like you hoo. You got to give me the red flower, Mowgli. And then, and the third movie is Click with Adam Sandler.
Because she just likes it.
What's the third movie, Isaac?
Click.
Click with Adam Sandler.
Okay, Adam Sandler can't be one of the guys that keeps coming up.
When I saw Christopher Walken come up, I was like...
It's the third one.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
This film sounds a little bit like 100 Days of Sodom meets Funny Games.
Yeah. It seems like a more tame version of those two.
Yeah.
There's no way Walken and Mirren would have done it.
Right.
Unless they were like...
definitely trigger warning, though, if you think there's definitely going to be some heavy manipulation into sexual activities in this film. I think that's for sure going to be on the table.
It's 104 minutes, by the way. I figured adding timestamps is good.
Yeah, that's
a good idea.
That's not very long at all. It's an hour and a half.
That's close to 2 hours.
Close to 2 hours.
Like hour 45-ish. Ish. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is we have hit so many of the different types of genres of Criterion.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could, probably in listening to that description, about 1/20 of Criterion films kind of fall a little under that seduction and eroticism type stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe more like
so far we've gotten. I don't mean this in a negative way, but like really pretentious high art was the first one.
Right.
spooky, hokey dokey,
Sci-fi.
spacey,
Yeah.
sci-fi. This was a character film.
Yeah.
Llewyn Davis was very much a character-driven film, but also very mainstream.
Yeah.
It hits the mainstream aspect.
And then we have La Premise.
La Premise, which is probably like first of all, it's French,
Indie, yeah.
and that's a good collection of criteria right there.
Yeah.
It's it being
Totally.
French or foreign in general.
Yeah.
Or subtitle foreign.
Yeah.
Because this is UK.
Yeah.
Or it says Italy in UK, but and then well, I feel like broadcast news is really the mainstream one.
Mainstream, yeah.
Because that's the more
mainstream that's
accessible,
been
I think.
criterionized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well put. Yeah.
Out of all the movies so far, actually, you know what? This is episode 5. So, out of all the movies so far, how would you rank them?
Ooh.
Inside Llewyn Davis, I think I gave the highest score to. I think I gave
too.
it and La Premise the same score, and I would say those are my two favorites.
Are they on like even ground for you?
I think I'd have to give Inside Llewyn Davis the nod, just because I really do love both of them as character pieces.
Yeah.
But I do think if I objectively, what do I think I think Llewyn Davis is just a tighter filmmaking.
That makes sense.
And so I think I'd have to give it the edge there. But I really do love both those movies.
I'm with you, Cole, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just to cut to the chase. That's exactly where I stand. That's thought about it. That's
Yeah, and then okay, so we have Inside Llewyn Davis. What else do we have?
Inside
Without a
Llewyn Davis,
Face.
La Premise, broadcast news.
Okay.
We're doing out of 5.
Yeah.
So broadcast news.
I think I would. I know this is crazy.
You're gonna put it number 5.
No, I'm not gonna give it number 5 because I gave it the same score as A Safe Place. But I think I'm giving A Safe Place the nod, which seems wild. I just really liked it. I thought about A Safe Place like a lot after watching the
it's a good
movie.
movie.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I thought about it a lot, and I really like a movie where I'm like the next week. It's something that is constantly like I'm thinking about the storytelling, and it's far from a perfect movie. And if I'm talking about technically, broadcast news is probably a little better executed in certain standpoints, but A Safe Place is just so creative, and I think I'd have to give it the nod.
Yeah.
Then broadcast news, and then probably Fiend with a Face.
Without a Face.
If I dislike a movie, I will give it a 4 or 5. Like I am so
And you will also rant about it for a long
yeah,
time.
and I'll be upset.
You'll be in a bad mood.
Yeah, and I've been really like pleased with what we've gotten. I'm really nervous about this movie.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm going to be nervous when we get Jellyfish Eyes because I've heard that's like the worst Criterion.
Yeah.
Because it's just not a good movie.
Yeah.
And it was definitely like something else was happening as to why they put it in. But so your definitive ranking is from top to bottom.
Yeah, Inside Llewyn Davis, La Premise, A Safe Place, Broadcast News,
Broadcast News.
Fiend with a Face. Fiend
For
Without a
me,
Face.
And Cole, to save time, I will say I'm with you too. As much as I love science fiction, and I love Fiend Without a Face, but you got to be kind of objective, and that's exactly the way I would do it. But nonetheless, that's a great list of 5 films. Great
5 movies I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed watching, so that's not like
Yeah,
that's a good place to be.
we've really lucked out on this random number generator so far.
Yeah.
Because
No, there's some stinkers in there, man.
there's some stinkers. There's some hard to watch films. Like
Yeah.
we already banned one number.
Yeah.
We already banned number
Yeah.
17. We
Right.
don't speak of number 17.
Yeah.
But for me, I think for the most part, I'm with you. I'm just moving Fiend Without a Face up more because I know I'm more likely to watch that than
Again.
everything else.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, yes, I can appreciate a good movie, but sometimes a movie, because I mean, I've already mentioned this, but like, if a movie's so hard where most people won't ever watch it again, I probably will.
Yeah.
Right? Like, most people aren't going to watch Black Swan a second time.
Yeah.
I will watch it every year. I, on a whim, went, man, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat lunch. What should I watch? Oh yeah, Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
Like
wild work.
like I go.
And I
So,
think
like-
that's a great way to rate films, your watchability, because I probably would put, in terms of what movies may be better objectively, but I'd put Fiend Without a Face for lunch at any time.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Well, and
But
that's a
Fiend
good
Without-
point. I do think Fiend Without a Face is maybe the most rewatchable, just because I'm
Oh my
like,
God!
just throw it on. It's a good ride.
Once the brains and the skull and the spinal cord start walking around, I mean,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
But also, like, Cole and I were talking before we started recording, but I had seen Superman twice because I wanted to see it over the weekend before, like, spoilers really got out, and I just wanted it's not, like, heavy spoilers, but it was, like, a bunch of, like, little small things that, like, were too absurd to be true. You're like,
Yeah.
And then, like, it's good to have the surprise there. And then my friends wanted to watch it a separate day, so I went to go see it with them, and I was worried going in that, like, I wasn't going to like it the second time around, because that happens.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I still liked it just as
Yeah.
much. Like, obviously, the shock factor of, like, things I wasn't expecting wasn't there, because I was like, oh, yeah, this is the part with X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But, like, so, like, rewatchability is a thing for me.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why I really rate something a little bit more, because if I watch a movie and I go, I like this, but I know the second I watch it a second time, I'm not going to like it as much.
Right.
Then I probably didn't like it as much as I thought I liked it.
I mean,
and I
that's-
just want to keep it in the
Right.
rose-tinted
Yeah.
glasses kind of thing.
I feel that.
So it's like, well, I haven't watched some movies from my childhood.
Yeah.
Again, like I tried
Yeah.
rewatching Chicken Little a few years ago. That movie sucks.
Yeah.
That
No,
movie
there's
was
certain
terrible.
movies you go back and you're like, whoa, man, I watched this a lot and it's bad.
Yeah, but like you're a kid and you're just kind of looking for funny humor bits.
Yeah.
But so I moved Fiend Without a Face. I think for me it goes Llewyn Davis, one of my all-time favorites. La Promise, which was really good film and like really good surprise for me. And what else we have? I think I gotta put Fiend Without a Face. I think I gotta go maybe A Safe Place, because I have thought about that movie a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
I'm probably just not going to watch it again, so it loses some points there.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a rewatchable movie, really. Not in a bad way, just hard. And then I think I got to go Fiend and then Broadcast News. Because Broadcast News for me was like, I like this, but I think if I watched it again, I wouldn't like it as much.
I wouldn't enjoy it as much. Yeah, I probably need some more separation before I
Yeah.
watch that again.
So, we could probably do that like every 5 movies.
Yeah.
Do like an
I was gonna
updated
say,
ranking.
but once we get to 2025, we gotta
Yeah.
maybe we'll need some graphics or something.
Maybe we should post it on Instagram, our rankings for this first
like
group
a
of 5
tier list.
movies. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Or I guess it would be each of us.
Yeah, we could also just keep a running top 5
Oh, that's a
yeah.
good
and we could update it every week. We're doing things on the fly right now.
I figured that's how it would be given us.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
But anyway, do you want to?
Yeah. Hold on. I hit the wrong button.
That's
and now
okay.
I'm all over the place.
I'm sorry, man.
All right. Well, Cole kind of touched up on it about the Instagram. Please follow us. Right now, we don't have a Criterion Coffee Club specific social media. We just use Fresh Brew Productions because
Yep.
that's half of me.
perfect.
Yeah.
The other half is the person we mentioned a few times,
Yes.
Alyssa. Who shout out to her because
Yeah.
I think she's listened to this like 3 times each episode,
Yeah.
like 3 times.
Wow.
She's a real one for that.
Picking up on the slack on some other people.
Hey, dude. I know she hasn't watched it because she hasn't said anything.
About how your opinions are dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
That's the real tell. Well, so please follow us there. Engage. But before we go, please like and share if you enjoyed this podcast. Right now, Spotify, YouTube, hopefully in the future more, whenever I get there. And if you want to bring your own ideas from the movies we watch or just wish to chat about cinema or coffee in general, then leave a comment and engage with us.
Amen.
Well, with that being said, I'm Isaac.
I'm Cole.
I'm O'Brien. We'll see you next time.
Are you sticking with the Goldblum thing?
Recording
Is that why you're
stopped.
looking at me?